So Sarah, tell me why you started Yoga for Geeks.
I started Yoga for Geeks because I had worked at a desk for the first few years of my career, and I really felt like it had done a number on my body. I was in pain a lot of the time, and that didn't seem like a good thing to me. I quit my job and I took a yoga teacher training. I spent most of a year kind of focused on yoga. I lived at a yoga center in California for a while. And I thought that maybe that was the direction I was heading in, but I kind of found myself spiraled back into the web world and looked around me and realized that the people I was working with were the people who needed yoga most of all.
Right.
So I guess I saw a bit of a niche, and I saw a bit of an opportunity to help the people that I care about and the people that I work with to get a little more comfortable in their own bodies, and moreover to actually learn to notice their posture, notice their movement patterns, and notice what their bodies need.
And why is that important?
Because the way that most of us work over even just a few years, let alone a lifetime, takes a huge toll on the body. We sit with our heads forward for the most part. It's a lot of strain on the neck. People wind up with postural problems. Like everyone I talk to can feel that that the way that they work is taking a toll on their body. I've read interviews with spinal specialists who say that they see in 12-year-olds who sit at laptops too much evidence of vertebrae damage. So I think it's really important that we learn to take care of our bodies so that they can serve us for a lifetime.
Cool. And how does the class usually run? How many people do you get in? How long does it go for?
It kind of varies. Sometimes I'll do a chair yoga class as a lunchtime thing at a conference, which is kind of the most accessible entry point for people who don't think that they do yoga. We don't roll out mats on the floor. You don't have to do anything special. I'll lead a group through stretches that you can do sitting and standing around a chair. And then sometimes I also teach more regular yoga classes and just throw in a bit more of a focus on kind of common problem areas like wrists, neck, shoulders, hips.
Okay. And how long have you been doing it?
Coming up on a couple of years now.
And is it a full-time gig for you or a part-time gig?
No, it's kind of it's the thing that I most enjoy of the work that I do. It's the thing that I feel most connected to, I think, but it's definitely not a full-time thing at this point.
Cool. And what else do you do when you're not doing that?
I do some project management for a company called Communicopia, and I do web writing, and that's most of what I do these days.
And you work out of the Center for Social Innovation here?
Yeah, I do.
And how do you find the space to work in?
I love it. There's always interesting people around. There's a ton of great people to meet and collaborate with. The space itself is all wood and brick and bright and great, and I find that I can work here for hours and not feel like I'm suffering.
Right.
It makes a big difference to have a beautiful space.
Now you just moved here to Toronto, right?
6 months ago.
Yeah. And how are you finding it? You came from BC?
I moved from Vancouver. I've actually really loved a lot of things about Toronto. It's a much more interesting city than Vancouver in a lot of ways. There's a lot more going on culturally and in terms of entertainment and theater and culture and music. They're really different cities.
Right. What's the yoga culture like here compared to Vancouver?
Both Vancouver and Toronto have really thriving yoga scenes. There's a ton of studios in both cities and a ton of people who participate in both places. So I'd say they're actually fairly comparable.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.